Fujitsu created the Women in Technology programme because we recognise there is a real industry challenge in terms of attracting enough women into technology in the first place, from school leavers through to university and then onwards. And also retaining women in technology as well is also a challenge. And then from conversations with my colleagues, both within Fujitsu and in client organisations, recognise that women do have some challenges and in terms of how they manage their career.
I think it's really important that we care about this as an issue both internally and externally, and that's one of the things that we're doing.
The glory of diversity and doing things differently. If as organisations nowadays we have constantly to examine what we're doing, and in terms of competition we've got to make sure that we're out there and always reinventing ourselves, and having diversity in the boardroom, a chunk of which should be women, it's just so important to have a different point of view.
A gender balanced workforce is really important in terms of ensuring that you get effective decisions, and having both women and men at the table and the different perspectives and the way in which they approach business is really important.
When you get male and female together in a room, you get a much more balanced view, whereas if you have an all-male audience versus an all-female audience. So I think gender balance is really, really important to get the best results in an organisation. And I think it's proven widely throughout the world that when you do have gender balance, organisations are much more successful.
A gender balanced workforce is important from my view because males and females bring different skills to the organisation, and having a balanced workforce will always provide the most efficient and effective means of delivering the output if you've got a mix of those strengths and weaknesses.
Because my background is a psychologist, I'm really into behaviour change. Very much helping people to change their thinking, their feeling, their behaviour, anything that holds them back from where they want to be. And I suppose the joy of it is I've seen many people go on to be vice presidents, to be CEOs, COOs, people at the top of their organisations. And in particular, I've worked a lot with women to help them get there as well.
Actually, I think to begin with, it's the fact that there isn't a big pool of women coming through schools and universities. So we start off with a small group of women graduating in some of the technical careers. So then they end up in a minority in whatever IT organisation they end up in. And then I think the other really important thing is that there are not that many, although there are getting to be more, role models for women. And I think strong role models in IT encourage girls and younger people studying to go into IT. So people, some of the famous people that we now know running IT companies who are women, I think are really, really important.
We tend to be quite self-critical. And I think that comes across the piece. So themselves really, we need to get over that. They are competent, they are capable.
So I believe one of the biggest obstacles facing women in their careers is themselves. So it's about having the confidence to succeed.
Organisations and events like the Fujitsu Women in Technology event has really enabled us to build networks so that we can be confident in that ability that we have to be able to achieve success in our lives.
Tonight has been brilliant in terms of thinking quite differently about one's differences and skills, and really being yourself and valuing talents that you've got and valuing the talents of others has been really great fun.
We also need to think about how do we help women within our organisation be successful and be the best that they want to be. That's what it's all about. How do you help people get to where they want to be.
Be yourself, but be yourself with a bit more skill, and I think that's what we've learned this evening, is a technique for being ourselves with more skill.
To me, success looks like being in a working environment where you feel challenged, you feel like perhaps you don't know everything, that you're learning and striving and growing on a daily basis, and that you're able to help people to achieve the goals that they want to achieve, and that your company is successful as a result.
I think women need to find a vocabulary that explains what their worth is and what their strengths are.
So what's important to us is to ensure that women are attracted to technology as an industry and also feel really, really enabled and set up to succeed within it.
Doesn't mean that we need to have 50-50%, it needs to be the right people in the right place at the right time.